Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it. He's undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free, and we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE.
Blow the brains out the coop. Pully one on top, but I'm on mute. I'ma bust her wrist down cause she cute. Ice. Car on the yacht, I've been a pool. She an addict for the lifestyle in the paddock. Daddy, have you ever felt Chanel fabric? I be dripping to death, I need a casket. And we got more strikes in the rough, we foul tech em. In the middle of the field like David Beckham. I'm locked up for real, I'm tryna help him. When I got a meal, got me the chills, don't know what happened. Pop, do what you feel, I'm on that zombie. I'm more like Gaddafi, I'm not no Gandhi. I'm more like I'm David Goliath running. Be cloning, I find it funny. Clone. We finna know, straight out the dungeon. I go in the mouth, it costing me nothing. 300 the watch is out of your budget. Mean muggin' got me clutching. Yeah, and this stick right out of Russia.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it. He's undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free, and we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE. In a Hellcat, cause I'm a hellraiser. Self-made, I don't owe a in favor. When you get that money, keep your heart. I'm sliding in a coupe, ain't got no key to start. I got to follow me in BET Awards. When your well run dry, you know you need me for it. When I pull up in a Buick, you know what I'm doing. If the police get behind me, fleeing, then you lure. Sleeping on the pallet, turn me to a savage. I'm a project baby, now I stay in Calabash. Like I'm still surfing, like I'm still jacking. I be sipping on, trying to keep balance. Hit that Z-Walk, dicky with my Reebok. I don't say much, I just let the heat talk. Your jewelry water whoop, diamonds like re-rock. My little baby rock that like seatlock. When I stepped up on the scene, I was on a beam. When I jumped up out the beam, I was in Celine. Baby girl, you just a fleen, that ain't what I mean. Money busting out my jeans like I do skiing. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it. He's undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free, and we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that ZEZE. It's that ZEZE.
Blow the brains out the coop. Pully one on top, but I'm on mute. I'ma bust her wrist down cause she cute. Ice. Car on the yacht, I've been a pool. She an addict for the lifestyle in the paddock. Daddy, have you ever felt Chanel fabric? I be dripping to death, I need a casket. And we got more strikes in the rough, we foul tech em. In the middle of the field like David Beckham. I'm locked up for real, I'm tryna help him. When I got a meal, got me the chills, don't know what happened. Pop, do what you feel, I'm on that zombie. I'm more like Gaddafi, I'm not no Gandhi. I'm more like I'm David Goliath running. Be cloning, I find it funny. Clone. We finna know, straight out the dungeon. Finna know. I go in the mouth because of me nothing. 300 the watches out of your budget. 300. Mean muggin' got me clutching. Yeah, and this stick right out of Russia.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it. He's undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free, and we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z. In a Hellcat, cause I'm a hellraiser. Self-made, I don't owe a in favor. When you get that money, keep your heart. I'm sliding in a coupe, ain't got no key to start. I got to follow me in BET Awards. When your well run dry, you know you need me for it. When I pull up in a Buick, you know what I'm doing. If the police get behind me, fleeing any lure. Sleeping on the pallet, turn me to a savage. I'm a project baby, now I stay in Calabash. Like I'm still surfing, like I'm still jacking. I be sipping on, trying to keep balance. Hit that Z-Walk, dicky with my Reebok. I don't say much, I just let the heat talk. Your jewelry water whoop, diamonds like re-rock. My little baby rock that like seatlock. When I stepped up on the scene, I was on a beam. When I jumped up out the beam, I was in Celine. Baby girl, you just a fleen, that ain't what I mean. Money busting out my jeans like I do skiing. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it. He's undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free, and we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z.
Blow the brains out the coop. Polly one on top, but I'm on mute. I'ma bust her wrist down cause she cute. Car on the yacht, I've been a pool. She an addict for the lifestyle in the paddock. Daddy, have you ever felt Chanel fabric? I be dripping to death, I need a casket. And we got more strikes in the rough, we foul tech 'em. In the middle of the field like David Beckham. I'm unlocked up for real, I'm trying to help 'em. When I got a meal, got me the chills, don't know what happened. Pop, do what you feel, I'm on that zombie. I'm more like a Gaddafi, I'm not no Gandhi. I'm more like I'm David Goliath running. Be cloning, I find it funny. Clone. We finna know, straight out the dungeon. Finna know. I go in the mouth because of me nothing. 300 the watches out of your budget. 300. Mean muggin' got me clutching. Yeah, and this stick right out of Russia.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it.
Hello everyone, my name's Ian. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is March 1st, 2023. And we said yesterday that we were likely to get I don't know how I phrased it, a big, damn it, what did I say? Something to the effect of, ending the month off with a bang. Yeah, that's what it was, right? Ending the month off with a bang. And we did get that move, yeah? We did get a move, okay? It wasn't the biggest move in the world, but it was a move to close the month, okay? So we came into March with a strong move up from a high time frame support area, okay? This is a high time frame support area only because of this channel here that nobody seems to be able to read, okay? This channel that has lasted, what, some 45 days? Yeah, about 45 days, okay? So this 45-day channel is, the base of the channel, as always, is strong support, especially if it lasts a while, okay? So we bounced off of the base of this channel after having formed a double bottom, okay? And that double bottom took about 4 days to form. So we were likely to get some sort of response here, and that's what we got, okay? So yeah, that's what we said. That's what happened. Now, we're still not really in the thick of the move, okay? Because as long as you're still in this 45-day channel, it's going to be channel trading, okay? Just like it was when we were in this 250-day channel, okay? We're still, by the way, in this 250-day channel. But when we're in the thick of this 250-day channel, everything seems slow, torpid. Everything seems labored. Yeah, your moves up and your moves down. Actually, this was a really good indication of being the end of whatever this channel was, because despite being in the channel, you got this really nice, clean, impulsive price action, right? People don't understand. This can be read quite easily without too much confusion. Just look at it. This is telling you exactly what's going on, right? For 200 and some days, you go up and down and up and down. Everything is a chore. Whether you're going up or down, everything is a chore. Then all of a sudden, on January 1st, things just seem to open up to the upside, and you're getting successive green candles, right? This indicates an impulse, right? When we talk about impulses in LA wave theory, we talk about the right look. That's exactly why impulses are relatively simple to identify, because they just look the part. Corrections, yeah, they look corrective, but sometimes you could be correcting intra-wave of an impulse. You could be correcting and still be going, you can still be doing an impulse. It's harder to tell. An impulse is an impulse is an impulse. Easy to identify. This is why it's quite simple to make a statement in saying that the impulse, the trend, started on January 1st. And if you're a trend trader, and if you understand the importance of a trend in trading, you just ride it. It's quite simple. A lot of channels, a lot of experts, a lot of traders, market speculators like to confuse things and say, okay, this is going to be long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. Okay, yeah, there is some use to that. There is a place for that, right? Because you're not going to be making an entry without diving into the smaller time frames and really sussing out the price action, like, in order to get those highly leveraged positions. If you're a trader like myself, like in a trend, high time frame trend, I like to accumulate leveraged positions in addition to spot positions. So if I'm accumulating leverage positions, I have to do so carefully, or risk being stopped out or liquidated, right? So I have to get into the details on the smaller time frames and make sure that I don't get drawn down upon if I'm in a long position. Okay. In any case, so we saw this, and this played out. And the other thing I want to say is this: none of this is that complicated. A lot of places, a lot of analysts are telling you, well, their indicators aren't really telling them anything decisive, conclusive, right? They're kind of up and down, so they're not really sure what to do. But look, even this 45-day channel that we've been in, right? That is corrective or a consolidative, right? Obviously, it's up and down price action. Even that is going up and to the right. So let's say, and sometimes this is how certain market participants that don't know much actually outperform those who know a little bit more. So like the beginners outperform the intermediate, and then the experts obviously outperform the intermediate and maybe the beginners, or they just do as well as the beginners. But when I was an intermediate trader, or what I consider to be an intermediate trader, and analysts, I would see some people like, oh, trade the trend, and they just bought, and I'd be like doing all this fancy stuff and analyzing all this stuff, and they'd end up outperforming me because they just bought and simply held. And I'm like, but it goes up and down. You don't want to hold that. And they just held, and they outperformed me. And they're going to outperform most market participants who buy and sell, buy and sell, and buy and sell, get stopped out here, get stopped out there, lose, miss a move because they were sleeping, and then get in later. Do you understand? So even this 45-day channel is up and to the right. So there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know, it could go up and could go down. Yeah, it could. Everything's possible, but what's probable? What's probable is simple. If you've been going up and to the right at a major resistance, and everybody will agree, the EMA traders, they pull out their 200 not EMA traders, moving average traders. Everybody in crypto loves the 200 moving average for some reason. So they pull out their 200 moving average. They see that is confluent with the $25,000 level, and they're telling you that it's a huge resistance, and it's unlikely to break. And if it does, it's just going to peak out and then do a swing failure pattern and then come back down. Okay? But the truth of the matter is this. If you're at such a large resistance and you're literally consolidating at resistance, that's bullish. And there's no way to prove that other than go through the charts, backtest that statement or that thesis, and see for yourselves. Consolidation at resistance is more often than not really, really bullish, okay? The other thing is, just looking at your indicators, any momentum indicator will show on the daily time frame you're oversold. So you've taken 45 days to literally attack this 45-day resistance. In so doing, you've corrected your momentum back to the downside. So understand what that means. Essentially, you've been going up in price. Okay, if you bought Bitcoin in January, even with the up and down price action that we've gotten over the past month and a half, you would have been up because in the aggregate we've been going up. At the same time, the momentum has gone down, meaning it's resetting for another move to the upside. That's bullishly divergent momentum. A lot of people, a lot of traders don't even know how to read their own indicators. So many traders out there, so many big channels, big accounts will tell you that Bitcoin is currently, right now, in March of 2023, bearishly divergent on the daily time frame. That's an inability to even read their own indicators, right? One of the reasons I use stochastic RSI, because it's simple, it's relatively straightforward momentum indicator, right? RSI is a little more complex. Yes, you can see a little more detail, you can see a little more nuance, but I don't need the amount of nuance that I get in the RSI that I could just get in regular price action. And you have some people reading the RSI like they would be reading price action. It's unnecessary, right? I just need a stochastic look of what I'm looking at in the price action, and that's what the stochastic RSI gives me. So it's kind of unambiguous when the momentum resets, right? But I think there's, on the regular RSI, some maybe what you would call hidden bullish divergence that people aren't able to read, so they're seeing it as bearish. Okay, so that's the idea on the high time frames. The other really important thing to... Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, how do I do this? Alright. The other thing... Whoa, what is going on here? Okay. Alright. The other thing I want to point out is the fact that we haven't really done anything. Okay? Like, the Twitter trolls, and the best Twitter troll, probably one of the best, is some guy called Ninja Scalp. The price goes down 0.5%, and he starts throwing a party and, like, really, like, digging in at bulls. Goes, thanks for playing. That's a nice bull run you got there. Great job, bulls. It's just hilarious because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a shtick. Maybe it's really him coping. Maybe he really believes it. I don't know. But anyway, all the trolls are saying, this is bearish. And then the bulls overact and say, this is really bullish. Well, in actual fact, this whole thing is bullish. The ups and downs, even the downs and reactions at base are bullish. That's actually the most bullish thing about this. If you really understand price action, right? You understand bullish and bearishness through the counter. Meaning, if a trend is going up, you judge it by the counter trend. The veracity of the trend is elucidated by the counter trend. Same thing with the bearish trends, right? So when you get that bounce at key support, then you know, okay, there's something there because this is the test. And it's like, okay, we're bullish, so we're going to react. This is a test. We're bullish, so we're going to react. But thus far, nothing really of note has happened. As a result, a lot of people in these 45 days get turned off. This is what makes trading so challenging. And even how many people actually tune into regularly to streams to learn how to read price action, to really learn about what's going on in the market. So many people just want, signals up or down, right? Should I buy? Should I sell? They want get rich quick stuff, meaning the price goes up here, they take profit. Goes down, they go in a short, they take profit. Like, this is how they're thinking. A lot of people, even people who have been in the market for a long time. But if you zoom out a little bit and you really understand, this is more likely than not a sign of strength right here, right? At a high time frame resistance, this 260-day bear market accumulation channel, we're about to put in some real head-turning bullish momentum, okay? So, once this actually happens, a lot of people are going to be thrown off guard. Look at what happened here last time we were at support. You got a candle running through, not just, kind of slowly going up and matriculating through the channel, but you ran through the channel pretty much in a day's time. I would imagine that the same thing happened, only because if this analysis is correct, this is a wave 1 that goes somewhere down here. I don't know where. Well, I may know where, but it's not important. Some wave 2, a wave 3. What am I doing? Yes. This is correct. I'm sorry. It just looks really funky because I'm on the daily time frame. Let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like the stream. Comment. I'm going to look at the comments in a second. I just want to get through with the Bitcoin analysis because I know it's a relatively long stream and some people don't watch the whole thing. A lot of people, very few, if any, watch the whole thing. So most people just watch the beginning part where I discuss Bitcoin. So I just like to get through that with that in mind. So this is wave 1. This is wave 2. This is a kind of wave 3. This is a kind of wave 4. And I would say actually the wave 1 is a little less shallow, okay? So it doesn't look weird. Because wave 3 can never be the shortest. So just imagine wave 1 is the same height as wave 3. I understand the relationship between wave 1 and wave 3, okay? Okay, so here what we're looking at is what you would call a leading diagonal, where you have essentially a double zigzag or a corrective pattern, counter-corrective, but you're always going in the same direction, and you're pretty much just gearing up for an actual impulse, okay? So this, in Elliott wave parlance, is called a leading diagonal, and it's comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4 corrective waves in succession, all in the same direction. And I've talked about this before on the channel. It's not an actual impulse. The leading diagonal, I think more accurately, is a series of corrective waves, like a double zigzag, where you get a W, X, Y, X2, and then this would be the Z. This is your actual bona fide impulse right there, okay? So that's what I think we're getting. And if that count is true, what you're gonna get here, what you've already started getting, but what you're going to get is fully impulsive. So we're not going to worry about much of any resistance here. Obviously, it's a fact that you're in a channel, you're going to encounter resistance, but the trend, the nature of this move is going to be different. Even this one was rather impulsive. It was strong, despite it still being in correction. So a lot of people are going to be thrown off guard by this, right? A lot of traders today have their targets set here. They're taking profit there, and then they're seeing this as another major resistance. They're looking at it on a really small time frame. But I think the best way to look at this is in a really explosive move that is a contiguous wave all the way to this 30K region, all the way from here, okay? And what you're doing right now is you're finishing the retest of this double bottom, okay? You're putting in a bullish reversal pattern. You can say it's kind of a W pattern, yeah, double bottom, and you're essentially just finishing it out here. And once you start, don't be surprised if you just melt through all of these resistances. You come, hit that 30K next significant, maybe it's not significant because I said it wasn't significant resistance. Next resistance, okay, let's just call it resistance. We don't have to characterize it. It's not the end resistance. It's not the final boss by any means. But after that, what you have to do is you have to retest this resistance right here, right? Because this resistance of this 45-day channel has kept you under for 45 days. And one of the principles of technical analysis, right? However many things we may not know, one thing we do know for sure, 100% of the time, that we've always seen, is significant resistance. If it's broken, it will be retested as support. So do expect this to come up and all the way back down. And that works really well with the idea that you're putting in a wave 1 and a wave 2. That's why I've got this count. You see that almost like down to the penny. So if you break this channel, this 45-day channel to the upside, and you hit 30,000, you're going to come down 61.8% back to 26,000 to retest that as support, and then continue on. Even more people, all right, are going to see that as, I told you so. 30K, a lot of traders, if you watch other people's analysis, are saying 30K is the top of the move for 2023. We're in March, okay? And they're already saying 30K is the top of the line for Bitcoin in 2023, because obviously they're 4-year cycle proponents, and they all believe that we have to go down or sideways until the next halving. Okay, so they're going to be surprised by the fact that we're likely going to hit that 30K and come back down. And they're going to say, yes, 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 I knew it. And they're going to set up their shorts. A lot of shorts are going to get trapped. A lot of shorts are going to get trapped while this old resistance flips into support. Really simple concept, but you would be surprised how many people just don't follow simple concepts of technical analysis. They're looking at their indicator 5,000. They're looking for their red and green dots, and they're zoomed in, myopic on their 5, 6, 7 minute time frame, a half-minute time frame, 22-hour time frame, whatever the hell time frame their indicator is selecting, and they don't see these things. Really high probability setups, okay? My personal trade, as you guys know, is I'm not doing shit. I'm going to let it come down and not do anything because it's not worth it. Because this is one of very many trades that I'm in, as you can see. I'm in all of these trades. And I'm not going to try and, nickel and dime 61.8%. And so just a word on strategy. And this I didn't know before. The most valuable thing about my trades, my leverage trades, and even sometimes my spot trades okay, my leverage trades. Let me start with that. The most valuable thing is my entry. If I know with a high degree of probability, if we go to 30K, we're coming back down to 26. Even with that knowledge, I won't sell. Because if I don't time this perfectly, or if I'm wrong, I'm giving up a really good entry. My entry's way, way down there. I'm giving up a really good entry on really high leverage. This one for Bitcoin is really high leverage, as high as it can get. Just, a hint. And I then have to do that work again. Entering on really high leverage is not easy. Takes a lot of work. Once you did the work, just leave it. Okay? As for my spot traders out there, it's maybe a good idea, but again, remember, definitely make sure you're getting in right back here, but it doesn't necessarily have to hit here. Remember, you can front run levels. And in really bullish or really bearish assets, sometimes levels are front run. So is it worth what you're going to save here versus what you may lose by missing the re-entry? Do you see? You have to make that calculus. That's not a way I was thinking before. Before I was thinking, if I know with a high degree of probability this is going to go up and go down, I'm getting the hell out and going to get all the money, every last penny I possibly can. It's not worth it. Chances are you're going to mess up even a little bit and you're going to cost yourself. So just let it draw down because it's not going to be much. If your read is correct, what you should do is set your stops in profit right below the golden pocket, right? So if you're wrong, you still win, right? If this is a swing failure pattern and if you're wrong, you win. But if you're right, you're protected. So this is how you bet big and still bet safe. Some people think that if you swing for the fences, you're kind of reckless and you're basically kind of gambling. No. You do it intelligently. There's a way to do it intelligently. You move your stops up progressively. Every single one of these 21, 22, or whatever, how many positions have stops into profit. Meaning I've carefully looked and said, okay, where are we now? Okay, is this pure impulse? Pull out my Fibonacci retracement tool, look for the golden mean, hide my stops and liquidations right below the golden mean. If I'm wrong, whatever. I get stopped out into profit. I get back in again. Rinse and repeat. But this is relatively the beginning of the bull market. But, maybe in a few weeks, I won't even have to look or touch anything for a month, 2 months. Do you see? That's just a bit of strategy. All right. Akanksha says, hello, Akanksha. G-Tekken says, let's go. I'm at work checking in. Keep up the great work. Thank you, G-Tekken. Hope work's going well. Andy says, hey, Dean, thanks for your videos and sharing your knowledge. You're my favorite analyst so far. Could you please have a look at Siacoin and Qtum, please? I wish you a lot of profit. Wish you a lot of profit as well, Andy. Thank you for the kind words. We'll definitely have a look at Siacoin and Qtum, and we should have enough time. Wednesdays, I like to start a little early because you might know this is the day I have to pick my son up from school as well as Friday. So I try to keep that in mind and start the stream a little early. So we'll do that. All right. So just specifically for those of you who may not know, the next few days I think are going to be particularly explosive. And the reason I have it set this way is because I'm counting on, let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. Yeah, there we go. It's a little more careful. I've put these Elliott waves in quite carefully, and it's not that complicated. Basically, I'm using my moon phases, and I'm using the research that has been established with the moon phases and lunar phases, right? That 0 to 3 days after a full moon, markets tend to find a local bottom. 0 to 3 days after a new moon, markets tend to find a local top. This is research that's based off of markets since the 1950s. Okay, since 1950. Okay, and you can check Lunatic Trader, one of my favorite sites to go to, that has aggregated a lot of these studies. And so this isn't just like, some random theory, or like a lot of Bitcoin analysts. They'll look at 5, 6, or maybe 8 years, 9 years of research at most, right? And say every time this has happened, Bitcoin has done this. While, 9 years may seem like a long time, but for market cycles, that's not much, to be honest, right? The end value, your sample size is not big enough, right? I was watching a Crypto Crew University video. This guy Steve, and he has a lot of good ideas. He's really creative analyst. But the main issue I see in his analysis is that he bases a lot of his stuff off of these things that have happened twice in Bitcoin's history. I'm like, dude, literally your sample size is 2. Okay, statistically, it's insignificant. It may very well happen again, but it's not the best, most reliable way to say, because this happened 2 times prior, this is going to happen. In any case, using the moon phases, we're going to assume that March 7th, which is the next full moon, and I don't think this is showing here. It's not, so let's turn it off. But March 7th, so I have this bottom here around March 7th. So March 7th to 10th, I expect us to come back down to this $30,000 level. Okay? Again, every significant resistance, when broken, has to be flipped to support. Okay? The top of this channel, 26K, was resistance for 45 days. You break it, you come back, retest it as support. That is proof positive that you're in a veritable bull run. Okay? If you're just breaking levels, you're not testing, that's one of the best indications that that's a bear market rally, or that's a false rally, and it's basically going to come right back down. But when you're breaking, retesting, you're building out. You're giving the market likes to give equal opportunity to buyers and sellers at different times. So, we broke that, we're going to retest it. We broke that, we're going to retest it. Right? That's just how markets move. And that's not crypto, that's just all markets. Open, freely traded markets. So yeah, this is the retest of 26 here for this wave 2. And then this larger wave 2 of this 5-wave move is going to be the retest of the 30K level. Okay? And why is the 30K level important? It's not the most important, but it's a level, okay? I don't think it's as important as most people think it is, and most people claim it to be. Most people think it's so important that Bitcoin won't ever even get above it during this calendar year, as I said. But if you zoom out and look at the price action, 30K is, there's been some activity, but a lot of loose activity, right? Do you see a lot of loose wicking? No clean wicking, no clean sort of levels, no clean bounces. A lot of diffuse, that's the word I'm looking for, diffuse action on that level. So it's more like a range. But that range is, relatively significant. So if we break it, we're going to retest it. And that's how I think we're going to retest it. And as per usual, I have these 5 waves taking about as long as these 3 waves. So that means that I'm seeing us get all the way up to 45, 46. I know this sounds crazy, looks crazy. It even sounds crazy to me, but I'm just going off the analysis. I'm trying not to judge it. But 45, 46 by Friday, Saturday, And then over the weekend, we retrace 61.8% down to the golden mean. And by about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, start back up. Okay? So that's my analysis. And so far, we're on track. We're on track. This is a really good sign. The idea that we've double bottomed in this channel, basically 98%, 99%, if you have to put a percentage on it, you're coming to the top of this channel to retest that. And I think that this time, it's not just going to be a retest, it's going to be a break of this channel. Okay? So this sounds crazy, but it actually doesn't. Because if you really think about this, the fact that you double bottomed here means you're coming here. The fact that you're coming here and you've already tested the top twice already, you're likely to break it. If you break a channel, how do you break a channel? You typically break a channel up or down the height of the channel. So let's just take the height of the channel. And as you can see, the measured move of this is about 30K. Do you see? So if you break the height of the channel, you're breaking up the same amount. That's the measured, pattern target. So about 30K. So you come to 30K. What are you going to do? You're going to retest that. So again, this seems crazy, but actually it's not. And the thing that may make it all crazy is the fact that we haven't felt the bullishness that we're going to feel once we leave this level. Everything changes once this pops up and out. And it'll happen much faster than we can conceive of. Okay, so that's the analysis. Akanksha says, if given a choice, would you rather invest in Gallic Games or Sandbox? High time frame, price potential. All right, we can look at that. I don't know, but I'd have a look. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. That's a pretty exhaustive look at what's going on and why it's happening on the really small time frames. We just put in a fully, I don't know what this is, to be honest. Let's see. I want to say, I don't know. This looks like a wave 4 to me, but then where's the wave 3? I don't know. I don't know what this is, to be honest. And I don't really care. Let's see. It took about 8 hours to go up. Let's say that this is wave 1 through 5 right here. 8 hours to go up. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Thus far, let's say we took it here. Maybe this is a wave 1, wave 2 situation. It could be. It could be. It could be pure impulse, wave 1, wave 2 situation. Okay, highly likely. Because there's about 8 hours up and 8 hours down. Add to that some sort of consolidation reversal. Could be a wave 1, wave 2 situation. You've hit your minimum retracement of the 382, right? So that could be a wave 1, wave 2 situation that you're looking at right there. So you should be moving up at some point in time very soon. All right, that's a small time frame. Let's jump out into the daily time frame to look at altcoins. Before we look at altcoins, let's look at the DXY. So the DXY went down as we thought it would. Okay, this is the DXY on the 15-minute time frame. We're looking at it intraday, and we can see yesterday we were at this level. Okay, we were retesting some support, lost support as resistance, right? This magenta box was your resistance level, and that's exactly what you did. And I was saying that this was likely going to be some sort of zigzag. So 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves. Sorry, I'm so used to counting bullish waves. Let's try again. 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. Okay, So this is ABC zigzag, XYZ zigzag. I don't know what you want to call it. I would say XYZ just because of this middle wave seeming to be a little more complex. But it's a 5-3-5 corrective pattern. Okay? Now you continue the move down because this is clearly some sort of counter correction. And you continue down. So the DXY is doing what we thought it would. It's rejecting on a high time frame from resistance that we thought it should reject from, which is this near 600-day resistance right here. Yeah. So that's the DXY. Nothing more to say. We talk about it every day. And yeah, it's not looking bullish. For people who think it's bullish, they really don't know how to read a chart because that's as clear as day. That's as clear as day. Let's go into the altcoins. Let's stay on the daily time frame. Okay, so when we're talking about Bitcoin finally breaking 260-day resistance, finally going into more ostensible bullish price action. Although you could say the bull market started on January 1st, we have a clear impulse on the charts. You really don't feel the bullishness until you break high time frame resistance, okay? And so that 260-day resistance is what we're trying to break in Bitcoin. And on a lot of these altcoins, you have a similar situation. You were in a large channel whereby you were consolidating in the bear market, all right? This is your cause for the effect of your reversal. And very much like Bitcoin, you started putting in an impulsive move on January 1, okay? Or at the beginning of the year. So what you're doing here, you're putting in a sign of strength. We spoke about this, right? Basically, just like Bitcoin put in 45 days of consolidation at resistance, right? Consolidation at resistance is bullish. Not every consolidation at resistance is bearish. A rejection at resistance looks different than a consolidation at resistance. This is quite clearly what you want to see if you're bullish. Consolidate or reaccumulate, essentially, and then go up, okay? And just like Bitcoin, this is an up and to the right consolidation. Remember, a consolidation can be just like this. It can be like this. But in the most bullish instances, it's up and to the right, okay? This is what you would call a quintessential bull flag. Okay, so that's what you're seeing in Algorand. We're just going to stay on the daily time frames so you can really understand the magnitude of this coming move, right? This pop would give you maybe a 3-digit move in 2 days, right? Wouldn't be surprised if it went up 50% one day and then 50% the next, right? You just, it's really, I mean, it's an alt season, it's a bull market. These are low cap, relatively low cap altcoins. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden you see such as up 80%, 90%, 100%, right? A few 100% in a few days, okay? Same thing here with Cardano. Same exact thing. You know, look at Bitcoin. Use Bitcoin as a proxy, right, for the whole market like we do on this channel. Understand it through that lens, and you don't have to think like a million different scenarios. This is the same stuff, essentially, right? Your bear market accumulation, your bull market starts January 1, consolidation at resistance. You're in a 45 or so day consolidation, bullish consolidation. You're at the bottom of such bullish consolidation. You're going to matriculate to the top of that channel, breaking the larger 260, 300-day channel for massive, massive moves to the upside. All right, so that's Cardano. Bonk, a little different. Okay, this accumulation channel has been forming for not that long. Okay, because this is something that just came out in January. But really cool is you've been holding the integrity of this channel and essentially putting in your Wyckoff accumulation or your 2 degrees of AB basing in a pivot. And this is quite clearly a counter to this, right? If this is an A wave, this is a B wave. This is very likely some sort of pivot. Once this goes, it's going to go hard because it's such a low market cap. It's so volatile. Okay, so like, if you are into meme coins, I'm not a fan of Solana blockchain at all, But I'm just, this is a speculative investment. I'm just having fun with a meme coin, provided Solana doesn't die. And I think, given all of the issues that it's had, if it hasn't died yet, it's probably going to be okay. So if this moves, it's going to be one of those. It's probably going to do just as well as some of my leveraged positions with no leverage, right? Because this is pure spot. Because it's so volatile. And that's fun to me. So I'm having fun here. And it looks good. I know a lot of people are interested in Bonk. Meme coins do attract a large following. So people always ask me to talk about Bonk. I talk about Bonk quite a lot, almost every day, in the time allotted for, mini altcoin analysis. So if you're listening and you're into Bonk, that's pretty much it. You've waited for a month and a half. Don't get discouraged. You're going to get that move, right? If you can read this, you don't get discouraged. You're patient, not blindly, because you understand, you've seen it before. Your training shows you that this is a cause for this effect. All right, so that's Bonk. Dent already starting to move, as you can see. This is a little more messy than most of our altcoin charts. It's really, it's a relatively low cap, so you can expect a little more volatility. You see a lot more wicking. But essentially, you're getting the same thing, right? High time frame channel where you accumulated during the bear market. You broke out. You came back, retested that midline. You broke out in earnest, retested the top of the bear market resistance. This is where you can count your tried and true channel. Or sorry, did I say channel? I meant impulse. This is going to be your tried and true first impulse right there. And this is going to be your wave 2. And if you look at it, just eyeballing it, the time you took to go up, and we see this all the time. So just a quick note, and I think this is important. There's a lot of things written by a lot of people, right? People who run Elliott Wave International, people who write books on Elliott Wave. They'll tell you wave 1 can come down to 99% of wave. Wave 2 can come down to 99% of wave 1 as long as it doesn't go under wave 1. It's a viable wave 2. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you, there's no relationship in time between wave 1 and wave 2. People will say all kinds of things. It is up to you to determine what's true or not, right? With my hard-earned money, I did my research, and I would not have made it this far, would not be where I am today with the profits or the win rate that I am today if I wasn't inquisitive and skeptical of what I read. Although those books did a lot for me and I got a lot of benefit from them, the fact that I questioned literally everything and I did my own research by going into the charts, trading and analyzing and testing every last thing that I learned, I understand that wave 1 and wave 2 have a time and price relationship. And I can, the whole time thing allows me to distinguish a wave 1 and wave 2 relationship from a wave A and B or W and Y of a zigzag. That's a big fucking deal. Because a lot of traders can't do that. A lot of people don't know how to read Elliott waves only because they can't even start and identify an actual wave 1, wave 2. Imagine if you thought wave 2 could come down all the way to 99% of wave 1. Then everything is a wave 1, wave 2. This is why you look at Elliott wave analysis. They have 50 million options for every. It could do this, that. Every possibility in the book. It's like the Matrix. That doesn't help you. That just analysis by paralysis by analysis, whatever you want to say. And you're unlikely to make money that way because everything's on the table. What the hell do you trade? Do you see what I mean? So I think that's a really, really important point. I can't stress it enough. Wave 1 and Wave 2 have a time and price relationship. If you look at the time it took for Wave 1 to form and the time it took for Wave 2 to form, they tend to be more or less equal. And this makes sense, right? Because this is a first wave formed after leaving that 300-day resistance, boom, and then a retest of previously important resistance turned into support right here. This level that I got marked out by this teal box. So that's dent. It looks like it's gonna go sooner than later. All right, Dodo. This is already also, see, this is exactly when you think about like people saying that there's some analysts with big accounts that say we're not in a bull market, Bitcoin's going to go up, our altcoins are going to bleed, like they just talk out of their asses. Honestly, like it's already happened. So they're saying that still means one or two things. Either lying or they're blind or not looking at the chart, or they have no idea what they're looking at, right? Because if you look, Bitcoin is here. Dent was the one we just looked at, right? Dodo is the one we're looking at right now. Both of these have front run Bitcoin. They've already broken their channels, right? So Dent broke its channel, and true to form, it put in a move that was the length of the channel, more or less. So 100% move right out the box, right? This channel, if you take the height of it, you superimpose it from the side of breakout, you get about that target, okay? So you got 100% move out of that, and subsequent to that, what do you get? Some sort of consolidation for some continuation. I think because of the time it took for this consolidation, this is not a wave 1, wave 2, is it not? You know, it can be, because if you take all of this, so all this and all that, you can make a case. So yeah, it could be a wave 1, wave 2 situation. All right, because this seems to be some sort of leading diagonal into the wave 5, and then you have your running flat. So anyway, the idea is these altcoins like Dodo and Dent have already broken out of their bear market consolidation, and they're not just going and running and not retesting important resistance as new support. This is how you know, if you know how to read a chart, these altcoins aren't just going to magically dump back down. That bull run has already started. This is a legitimate crypto bull run where altcoins front run the market and you have an alt season. That's proof right there. It's incontrovertible. But people who don't know how to read markets, they just say stuff. But it's up to you to discern what's true and what's not, okay? You have to decide, because there's a lot of garbage out there. There's so much garbage. Like, you know, you could be wrong, but there are some people, there's no basis of understanding of how these markets work. There's zero. Even high time frame, small time frame, they're just saying stuff, making up content. All right, this is Dogecoin. This is also broken out of its channel, okay? Although it hasn't broken out. It's broken out of its channel, but it hasn't broken out and made that move, because this was corrective, right? We know it's corrective because it came all the way back down to the 786, beyond the 618 of this move. So this is a bit ahead of Bitcoin, right? Again, Bitcoin's still stuck here. Dogecoin, an altcoin, lower cap, came out, retested already, because Bitcoin's going to have to do all of this, right? You can't just break and this keep going. No. That's a 300, 260 day, whatever resistance. You break, you got to retest. Dogecoin did that multiple times. Now this is support, okay? So if you're into Dogecoin, you're reading charts, you're buying support. Let's say you didn't know how to read all of this. You're super patient. This is a perfect buying opportunity because you're literally buying the retest. That's as much confirmation as you can possibly get on a high time frame that this move to the upside is legitimate. See, for instance, here you came up, but you didn't retest this resistance. You came back down. And here you broke down beyond the support level, so you came down even further. So just that principle of retesting previous resistance into new support, you can see it over and over and over and over again. And that is why you trade it. That's why you keep saying it and you keep using it, not because somebody wrote it in a book. Be skeptical, do your own research, backtest all that stuff. Observe it for yourself. This is why we have this. This is why I think this is useful. This stream that is kind of long form. You just go over and over and over, and all of these principles just become second nature. And then you just read charts, and it's like, oh, duh. If this, then that. If that, then this. If this, then that. If that, then this. And it makes sense. Ethereum is kind of like Bitcoin. It's at the top of the channel, consolidating at resistance, about to break out of the channel, having tested it once, twice, thrice. I think this is the move up and out. It's going to take a lot of people by surprise. Already, as it is, a lot of people are trapped in their shorts because they got in as the price was teetering at the bottom of these channels. And now the price is going against them. They have nothing to do but to wait to get stopped out or liquidated, or to sell out of their position. So they're going to flip long. So they're going to get squeezed. Litecoin, another altcoin that is front-running Bitcoin, which is a telltale sign that this is a tried and true bull market with an alt season. Breaking out of its high time frame channel, not just consolidating at... So this is really bullish, okay? Here's your consolidation at resistance, but you actually came back down from this and rejected, back to the midline, found it at support. Then you broke out, retested the whole channel, and you're consolidating on top, just kind of like Dogecoin did, but this is even more bullish than Dogecoin because you're consolidating up and to the right? That is the most bullish consolidation that you can have. So this is, again, what you're getting. All of these assets, most of these assets, like Dogecoin, Litecoin, that are kind of mid-cap, you would consider, are in these channels of consolidation, 45-day channels, and any moment now, in the coming hours, they should break up and out. RSR is a smaller cap altcoin that has yet to reach the top of its channel. Although this is an altcoin, it's a little bit behind Bitcoin. So some are going to be ahead. A few are going to be behind. But I think the majority of altcoins are going to be ahead just by virtue of the fact that they're more volatile. They're lower cap altcoin. But you can see we still have to get to the top of this channel. But that's essentially where you're aiming, right? You may even just break the channel, retest, and then continue like that. SHIB, same thing, right? Again, not everything happens in exactly the same way, right? And a lot of people get confused by this. Oh, wait, I thought you had a channel, you broke the channel to the downside, you're going to puke. No, not necessarily. Remember, you can break the channel to the downside just so long as you're not breaking further than the phi ratio of the preceding break of structure. Okay, so if you watch my work, you understand what that means. I'm not going to go on the lower time frames and explain it. All that means is there's a certain amount, mathematical level, where a ratio from the previous high, the previous move rather, that if you break the phi ratio of that, then you're too far gone. It's no longer a contiguous kind of a correction, counter correction move. But yeah, you can essentially dip below support. That doesn't mean you lost the level. That's just a dip below support. So SHIB, very volatile, always very volatile, always has been. Lots of wicking, right? Lots of wicking. So it did that. It tested some liquidity. It grabbed some liquidity below the range of its consolidation at resistance. Really bullish, by the way. Really bullish because right here, kind of like what you saw in Dogecoin. You broke this upper resistance. You actually did that multiple times, really showing the predilection for the trend. We talked about this yesterday. When you're looking at a channel, and I didn't learn this until recently, like in the past few months, I just thought about it. I'm like, oh shit, that's really helpful. Sometimes you look at a channel, you're not exactly sure where price wants to go, if it's going to go down or go up, right? Is it distributive? Is it accumulative? But a telltale is where price is going to, where price tends to find favor. Is it with the resistance or is it with the support? Here, you have 1, 2, 3 tests of the support, 1, 2 tests of the resistance. 3 tests of the resistance, 2 tests of the support. Okay, you could say 3 tests of the support in this double bottom. But essentially, the most interesting thing is that in the 3 tests of the resistance, you broke the resistance all 3 times. So that's just a clue. I won't say, take that to the bank. Obviously, look at the structure, be more circumspect as to what's actually happening, try to count the corrective waves, but Shiba Inu seems really, really eager to break this resistance, and it's about to. All right, synthetics, it's on its way. As you can see, it broke the midline of this massive bear market accumulation, consolidated on it. Now the next stop is the top of the channel, so that's where it's going. Don't be surprised to get big moves in the coming hours. Tron, we talked about this, how bullish it is. How this is a 600-day resistance that it broke and retested, came up. This looks a lot like Dent, okay? Looks a lot like Dent. So you come up, you retest. This is likely, just judging by the timing of it, a wave 1, wave 2 situation. Right here, wave 1, wave 2. Likely going for wave 3. This is your next zone of resistance up here, right? Probably going to get a consolidation there and then a continuation. Okay, so this is the bull market. When you read these on a higher time frame, once you're in, you just hold your position, you wait, and obviously you're eager for things to play out, but they're going to play out, and when they do, it's going to happen in the blink of an eye, relatively speaking. All that time waiting for the consolidation will have been worth it, and then you just wait and wait and wait, and then another run happens in a few minutes or a few hours, and then you consolidate for a few days, and then you run for a few hours or an hour, and then you consolidate for a few days, like that. XRP, same deal. You can see this massive bull flag here. Clearly 5 waves up. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 waves down. Okay. Some consolidation. You're going to put another nice impulse here. And that's what you're on the cusp of doing. Zilliqa, same thing. Except even more bullish. Think Bitcoin channel consolidating at resistance, but more bullish because you've already broken that massive resistance, right? This channel is actually more than 300 days. It goes back almost 600 days, if I recall. You can see it goes back forever, okay? So if you look at Zilliqa, you've put in that bullish consolidation up and to the right, and you did use it to break the channel, but you also used it to retest the channel, and you also used it to kind of matriculate through this horizontal resistance here. So eventually what's going to happen is you break the channel to the upside in a really vertical move. V-Chain, at the top of the channel, it's just been making its way slowly but surely up and through this channel. It's now at the top of the channel. It's done its consolidation at resistance. The next move is to break the channel. And that's, again, a high time frame channel, something like 500 days. Theta looks like it's going now. Look at these daily candles. Do you see, like, we're going to look, let's see if we can. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. So already up 5.5%, right? This is just going to go and go and go. Like, Bitcoin's going to do its thing. It's going to get to where it goes. But seeing as how this is a veritable bull market, this is an alt season, do you expect these altcoins to front run? Most of these altcoins are going to front run the move. They're going to be up and out of their consolidations faster than Bitcoin. That shouldn't surprise anybody, except the Bitcoin maximalists who think everything should bleed against Bitcoin at all times. All right, Talcoin is doing the same thing, and it's actually consolidating in this rising triangle. A, B, C, D, E, something like that. Okay, but it looks like a rising triangle to me. Maybe you can even start counting it from this, right here. A, B, C, D, E. I think that's the better read. In any case, whatever you did, you're matriculating up and through this massive range, and you've broken the range, retested it as support. Once you break this triangle, you get really explosive price action to the upside. Matic already way above. Okay, this is another example of an altcoin front running the move, already way above the bear market accumulation, already above this crucial resistance, broke above it, retesting it as support. It's not just one retest, it's a 3-wave move, flat correction. Now it continues. This is essentially going to be price discovery for Matic, because there's no major resistances left. There are no major resistances left. All right, DYDX, as you can see, it's quite obvious. You broke the massive channel, retested it as support in this flat correction right there, and you continue. Very bullish. Harmony did the same thing. This level was resistance, broken, tested as support in this flat correction. Now you're consolidating right at this support level for continuation up. But again, this is an example of altcoins front running the move. You've long ago, right, in the middle of January, already broke this channel and retested it as support. So if that's not a bull market, I don't know what is, right? The chart is telling you, there's no kind of denying it. It's just, it's clear as day. And we're talking support and resistance. We're not talking about some arcane subject in, Elliott wave theory. Like, it's just, straightforward support and resistance, broken support or broken resistance, retesting as support. Really incontrovertible as technical analysis gets. So in a moonbeam, or is this moon river? Fuck, I don't know. The naming of some of these Polkadot projects really pisses me off. MOVR, whatever the hell it is. You've broken the channel, retested it as support in this 3-wave flat correction. Now you come up in what I think is another corrective pattern. Okay, I think this is corrective only because the time it takes to go down seems to be a lot more than the time it takes to go up. So I think this is more of a, B, or WY, right? First two waves of a zigzag, and you're expecting a C wave or an X wave up. That's fully impulsive. But you're already doing that, right? Because you just retested resistance as support, and you're coming out of that. Chainlink just now broke the midline, which is resistance when you're below it, right? Retested it as support. Next stop, the top of the channel. Polkadot, same thing that Bitcoin's doing, except it's a little more advanced in the sense that it's already broken the channel to the upside and retested it as support. So, Key is another altcoin, small cap altcoin that long ago has broken the resistance of its massive bear market accumulation, put in 100 plus 200, 300%, however much it is, and it's flagging out, meaning it's basically consolidating for the next run up. And Litentry, this one has just now broken. I don't have the purple bear market accumulation channel, but imagine that this is it right here. You've broken this bear market accumulation channel and retested it in flavor of 3 flat correction. And now you move up and out of that. And that's it. Now let's look at some of the requests, and that's it. Young Dasa says, can you check out Zcash for me, Dean? Thanks. No problem. All right, let's go and start with Andy's request of Scicoin and Qtum. All right, so Scicoin. We're going to go into our general watch list. Scicoin. Let's arrange alphabetically. I think I've looked at it before. Okay, I don't have it. Let's add it. I know I have Qtum. I should have. Okay, let's add Binance's. Okay, so Scicoin. Let's start on a high time frame. Okay, so first things first, on a really high time frame, I see these as being corrective waves. Okay, whatever this is, even if it's cut off, it's retraced upon almost 100%. So I know this is a correction, counter correction. So I'm going to look at this as a B wave. And let's just call it a B wave, but a counter correction, right? And then I'm going to look at I'm going to look at this right here as an important point in time where the drawdown is exhausted. Okay, that's May 2022, where a lot of altcoins bounced. Okay, that was the initial break of structure. Okay, so I like that read. Again, I'm not trying to sort of impose or force that read on any altcoin. I've never seen this. I don't think I have. But, you know, I'm just reading it, and that seems like a bounce to me right here. Right? An initial break of structure of this massive drawdown. Okay, and this drawdown looks like it was a flat correction. Is it a zigzag? It looks like a zigzag. 5 waves down, 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. And then this, actually, instead of 5 waves down, I think you got a double zigzag, much like Bitcoin. So you had a zigzag within a zigzag. So this is the smaller zigzag. Instead of 5 waves down, you get a zigzag as the impulse. Okay, Bitcoin did exactly the same thing, so that doesn't surprise me. And actually, that was the first time I had seen that. Caught me completely off guard. I thought this was the end of it in Bitcoin. Obviously, it wasn't. That was around, this in Bitcoin was around 40K level. Learned my lesson. Quite expensive lesson, but, you know, I'm perfectly fine. I'm doing great. And it was worth every penny, I guess, because I'll never forget that zigzags are a thing. Yes, zigzags exist, and they can be substituted for impulses in ABC corrections or WXY corrections, so on and so forth. Okay, so I would start counting my sideways bear market consolidation from this point. Makes sense. The rest of the market also did something similar. The one thing I will note is that this accumulation is down and to the right, which I don't know anything about this asset, what it does or anything like that, but maybe because it's down and to the right, this is something that is staked and has staking rewards, and people are regularly taking profits, or some other reason maybe why it's down and to the right, because typically the accumulation is orthogonal, it's just, straight. But the down and to the right tells me that maybe people are taking profits. It has no bearing on the quality or lack thereof of the project. So I'm reading my 2 degrees of AB basing, my Wyckoff accumulation, whatever, and this is quite clearly a break. And I don't even need to read the 2 degrees of AB basing in a pivot, because what's been confirmed, and we can show this right here graphically, by taking this and extending it right here, you can see why there's no need to worry about a breakdown. Okay, and the reason is quite simply you broke high time frame resistance, right, of whatever this was, 260, 300 days, and you retested it as support here. Okay, and quite clearly on January 1st, December 31st, whenever it was, you started going impulsive. This is what Prechter and Frost call the right look. You don't have to think twice. You don't have to have a PhD in whatever. You don't have to be smart. You just have to be observant. That is quite clearly impulsive price action. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And what really gives you confidence to treat this as an impulse is the fact that this high time frame resistance of 300 days was broken to the upside and retested right there. So that makes you, confident that whatever happens afterwards is going to be a continuation of this impulsive move on the high time frame. So that's what I see in Scicoin. I see that this is most likely some sort of wave 1, wave 2 situation. So I think you're on your way. You're just continuing this to the upside. I don't know where all it's going. I don't know what the question was. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, I it's just going up from here. Yeah. But again, in terms of targets, can't really formulate targets, at least not with anything I know, because I have nothing to work off of. I just have 2 corrective patterns. So I don't know what the impulse is going to look like. I can't measure the impulse using math. So that's Scicoin. Qtum is, if I don't have it already, let's check if I have it or not. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know why I don't have that. I could have sworn I've seen it before. Yeah, Binance. Binance is always good. Okay. Qtum. Let's see. Yeah, again, these are corrective waves, right? You're going, You're going down correctively. You're going up correctively. You're coming down correctively. I know it's corrective, and there's nothing impulsive here, because whenever I take my retracement level, I can eyeball this, but just to demonstrate, I'm more than breaking my 0.618. So I know my, and this is probably where I should measure from right here. Okay, I know that these are corrective. And actually, you can't rule out the probability that this can continue. You can't rule that out. But it's unlikely. The reason it's unlikely is that the time it takes for Bitcoin to matriculate up to the millions of dollars, this will probably break this channel. But I would pay attention, in this case in particular for Qtum, I would pay attention around the $40 mark, because this is going to be staunch resistance. Okay? this is going to be resistance that's been established for many years. You're going to have some sort of reaction here. If you start consolidating at resistance, then you know you're likely to get a breakout. If you start doing something like this, like you did here, a rejection, then you know you're probably looking back down. So I would do this. If I was trading QTIM, I'm not, but if I was, I would set this up. Like right now, it's quite simple. You are at the bottom of the larger channel, and this massive channel is one that has been in place since 2018. Okay, this is a massive multi-year channel trade. That's what I would do. Okay, I wouldn't technically, or personally, I wouldn't take this trade because there's a probability. A probability. I don't know. Everything's possible, but there's a probability. It's strong enough that this is my resistance. And if I'm putting money in a bull market, I want to do those 100, 200, 300 X's. And am I going to do 100, 200, 300 X from here? No. I'm going to do a 14X, right? So I don't know what's going to happen at the top of this channel. Maybe at the top of this channel, we consolidate resistance and we break. Or maybe at the top of this channel, we do what we did here. And we're putting in a multi-year sort of consolidation. Many assets have. Remember what Litecoin did? Like, everything else was going up, was impulsive. Litecoin stayed corrective. So it's possible. So that's just a word to the wise. If I'm trading QTIM, I'm very careful once it hits here. What I would do, if I had to stay in here, first of all, what would I do? I would trade out of this. I would make sure, because we're in a bull market, everything is going up, I'm not trading out of it at a loss. Meaning, if I'm up on the trade, whatever I put in, I'm getting more. Or I'm at break even at the very least. I would not take a loss on this. As soon as I'm in profit or break even, I'm trading out of this and I'm putting it in something else that's a more high probability, that's more highly likely to be a winning trade on a high time frame. So I don't want to trade something in the bull market that's even probably going to yield underwhelming results. Like, if I have a bunch of friends that's like, oh yeah, my coin just did 200, 300x, 400x, and I just did a 14x, I'm pissed. Because that same money could have gone and done 100x. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's no reason to trade this if all these other assets are so much clearly in a position to do so much better. Even Bitcoin's going to do better than 14x. You see what I mean? But I'm not saying it's going to do 14x. I'm just saying the likelihood, the probability that this could be major resistance and we could get another rejection from here is too high for me to even chance it. We may very well accumulate here and break out, but that's how I'm looking at it. Okay, this is just simple support and resistance. The chart's telling you when you get up to this level, whenever you do, around 40, 50, whatever it is, the top of this range, you're going to have to you're going to have to answer to that level of resistance. Something like that, okay? You see what I mean? So that's QTIM. But by high probability, you're going to do what everything else does. You're going to go up and matriculate through this channel. But what do you do when you get here? That's the question. And I can't answer that. I don't know. All right. Now let's look at Gala and Sandbox for Kongsha. Okay, so we're looking at price potential. So let's start with, I think I have these here. Gala. Okay. So this is just, technical. I don't know much of anything about these fundamentally. I'm not following or anything like that. So let me just clean this up. So again, yeah, this is corrective. So I'm assuming that this is corrective, this is counter-corrective, whatever this is, right? Counter-corrective. And I'm getting an impulsive move here. I'm assuming that. I don't know. Again, there's always the possibility that with a chart like this, you can continue to put in corrections. But it's not as clear as the previous example of QTIM, where I have a range that's already been set. So this is less risky in my estimation. But if I'm looking at this, obviously it's going up, right? Obviously. What's it doing here? It's putting in a very, very clear bull flag, right? You have your impulse, and you have your correction. I think it's 1, 2, 3. And maybe this is it. It looks like it is because we have this level here. So this is a great entry if you're not involved. But in terms of Akanksha's question, which is a potential, we don't have enough data. Right? All I know is this, that on the smaller time frames, you're likely going to find support here and continue here, only because you broke this resistance, clearly resistance here. Okay, let's actually make this a little thicker, because this is the resistance that you're dealing with. The bottom of this range was support. Okay, we lost it. We regained it here. You broke this resistance. Now you're retesting it as support. So this is clearly an important level right here, around 4 to 5 cents. Okay, so likely that you find support here, and this is probably a wave 1, wave 2 situation. Let's just check really quickly. Maybe not. Maybe it's too shallow. Yeah, it's too shallow. This is a wave 4. Okay, it's likely that you put in a wave 4 here because you haven't even touched the 382. So that was the end of wave 3. You're probably going to put in another wave 5. That's likely not going to be that strong. Reason being, wave 3 is clearly extended with respect to wave 1. So you're probably going to put in a regular run-of-the-mill wave 5, like that, and then put in a larger correction. Okay, obviously, I don't think it takes that long, but you see, I'm just illustrating the idea. You're probably going to do this, right? And that makes sense, right? Because we think Bitcoin's going to do something similar. In terms of price projection, you can't really say, because this is corrective, counter-corrective. Who the hell knows where this goes? I don't have enough data to project the next move here. So personally, like being really, a chartist and wanting those projects that I'm like, ooh, I can see the next target is high probability going to be that phi ratio, or I'm trading a wave 3. I'm not that interested in projects where there's a possibility or there's a probability, high enough probability that this may not be a purely impulsive move. Yes, it will go up, but I don't want to trade Litecoin in 2018, for instance. You know what I mean? Everything else is going up a ton, and then it's kind of underwhelming. It goes up, but not much. I don't want to trade that. This, I don't know, kind of like Qtum, but not like Qtum. Kind of like what's the one I forget. The one that I had just a correction and a counter correction. I don't know how high this is gonna go. So that's how I would answer Gala games. Now looking at Sandbox, let's see. Sandbox. Let's pull out the Binance chart. Okay. So already I can see this has been trading longer. Okay. And this is more what I trade. The types of assets I trade. Two reasons. One, there's more trading history. I understand that it's been there longer. Probably a little higher market cap, but that doesn't concern me. What I'm looking for as a chartist, if I'm looking for gains, is what the relationship is from the previous price action and the correction. So if I see that it's likely that we put in 5 waves here, and it's likely that we put in some version of a 3-wave correction here, then I know with a high degree of probability what comes next. And that is what entices me. With a high degree of probability, this is impulsive, this is corrective, then I can project that impulse. And then obviously what I would do is I would verify, okay? Just based off of what I have here, and this is maybe not the most accurate, but just only based off what I have here, I know that with a high degree of probability, because we've broken the 382, this is not a wave 4 correction. So I'm not just getting a measly wave 5 impulse. I'm in early enough. Do you understand? As opposed to like Matic, which is more likely than not already printed its wave 3 cycle wave and only going to print a wave 5 cycle wave. That's not what interests me as much. I don't want to I don't want to invest in things that have already run. This, for instance, and what I would do if I was trading this, I would just double check that. So because I have a nondescript kind of ambiguous wick over there at the bottom, I just want to make sure. So I pull out another chart of the same asset, probably this one right here, but I'm just looking for as much trading history as possible, and I have something similar here. Okay, so if I had to choose one of the two, okay, Sandbox and Gala, and remember there are tens of thousands of altcoins, so you can literally, for instance, if I had to give you like and there are a lot of these, but one asset that's like so like chef's kiss home run is Telcoin. Chef's kiss home run. Everything about it. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. The 3 waves retrace down to the phi ratio, the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level in that channel, right? You know this, and then it took about the same time to go up, and I have all the trading history here, right? There's very little ambiguity. 420 days up, about 400 and let's see, the orthodox low would be here. About 400 days down, right? This is on the weekly time frame. So if you go on the daily, it's closer to 400 days up and 400 days down. That tells me, right, this highly likely is a wave 1, wave 2 situation. I buy here. I know I'm targeting the phi ratio. That is money in the bank right there. Okay, those are the types of trades I take. Those are the types of assets I like to trade in a bull market, right? Very little room for, I don't know, maybe we're in correction, right? Even if this is in correction and this is a zigzag, this is wave A, wave B, wave C is fully impulsive. I'm not messing with a Litecoin circa 2018 where everybody else gets gains and I get a shitty bear market uptrend. You know what I mean? So for Gala, I would say it's markedly, or was it Sandbox? What the hell's going on with me today? What the hell was I just doing? All right, let's see. Okay, for Sandbox, it's much better than Gala. And I'm assuming because we came down below the 382 enough where it's not just a wick, this is a wave 1, wave 2 situation. I'm not super confident in that, just because I don't know about this, right? I don't know about this. But it could be a wave 1, wave 2 situation. If I had to choose between the two, I would choose Sandbox for something that is more highly probable to go up, given the market structure, given the price action. It's less risky. I'm not saying, the other one, Gala, can go up more than Sandbox, but I know Sandbox is less risky for me. I have to control risk. I have to manage risk. This is how I manage risk. Okay? One of the ways that I manage risk. But given the choice, I wouldn't choose either of them. I would choose a clear chart that's clear wave 1, wave 2 situation, like or that's in a clear that is in a clear leading diagonal situation, like a XRP or a Litecoin. And Dean 2 years ago would be like, dude, no. The lower the market cap, the better. The shittier the market cap, the better, the more the gains. Yes and no. You also have to look at where it's at in the market. So if you're looking at it in terms of a trade, you look at the possibility. Everything's in a different, things can be at a different point in their cycle. So at XRP and Litecoin, despite their having large market cap, relatively large market caps, they're poised to generate a really high return in the bull run based off of their high time frame charts with a high degree of probability. That's what I'm looking at. That's how I built my portfolio, on those kinds of high time frame charts. Okay, and now we will look at Zcash for Young Dasa. Hey Google, stop. And that is my cue to depart, but let's do the Zcash and then we'll head out. So Zcash did what we thought it would. We drew this dashed line as a resistance. And what happened? You broke that resistance, and more importantly, retested it as support. And subsequent to that, you've been going sideways, okay, in a bullish consolidation, much like what you've seen throughout the market, right? This 45-day channel, more likely than not, 45 days or so, in bullish consolidation. You're at the bottom of that channel. Do expect to go up. That's it. It's just like what you see in Ethereum, what you see in Bitcoin. But here, you broke the channel. So unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, you've already broken the channel, so you're ahead a bit. And this is a great buying opportunity. You're at the bottom of a 45 month and a half day or month and a half long channel. So yeah, that's the next move. So guys, that is it from me. You're welcome, Akanksha. Hope that was helpful. Hope that was useful. Like, share, and subscribe on your way out. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.